There are prescribed rules and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful and organized for spiritual progress in life. When Lord Krishna descends, naturally he deals with such rules and regulations in order to maintain the prestige and necessity of such important performances. The Lord is the father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. Therefore, whenever there is general dis- disregard of regulating principles, the Lord himself descends and corrects the society. We should, however, note carefully that although we have to follow in the footsteps of the Lord, we still have to remember that we cannot imitate him. Following and imitating are not on the same level. We cannot imitate the Lord by lifting Govardhana Hill as the Lord did in his childhood. It is impossible for any human being. We have to follow his instructions, but we may not imitate him at any time. The Srimad Bhagavatam 10.33 to 51 accounts method समाचरित
जातु
मनसा की भी अनिश्वरा विनाशास्य आचरण
मौर्यात्
मौर्यात् यथाविदो भी जान विषम ईश्वराणां वाचा सत्यं तथैव चरितं क्वचित् तेषां यत् स्ववाचो युक्तं बुद्धिमान् तं समाचरेत्. One should simply follow the instructions of the Lord and please empower servants. Their instructions are all good for us, and any intelligent person will perform them as instructed. However, one should guard against trying to imitate their actions. One should not try to drink the ocean of poison in imitation of Lord Shiva. We should always consider the position of the Ishwaras or those who can actually control the movements of the self and mood as superior. Without such power, one cannot imitate the Ishwaras, who are super powerful. Lord Shiva drank poison to the extent of swallowing an ocean. But if any common man tries to drink even a fragment of such poison, he will be killed. There are many pseudo devotees of Lord Shiva who want to indulge in smoking ganja and similar intoxicating drugs, forgetting that by so imitating the acts of Lord Shiva, they are falling back very near. Similarly, there are some pseudo devotees of Lord Krishna who prefer to imitate the Lord in his Rasalila or dance of love, forgetting their inability to lift Govardhan Hill. It is best, therefore, that one not try to imitate the powerful, but simply follow their instructions. Nor should one try to occupy their post without qualification. There are so many incarnations of God without the power of the Supreme Godhead.
Yes. So this is text 24. So this section now, this is about doing prescribed duty. So Krishna is saying that if I didn't perform prescribed duties, so remember this is Krishna trying to persuade Arjun that he must do his duty. So he said, even I'm doing my prescribed duty. So if I didn't perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings. Do you remember in chapter 1, Arjun had an objection. What objection he had?
Varna Shankara, like there will be unwanted population because the women are weak and they can be persuaded in different things, and the kids will not know religious practices because the elders will not be there to teach them.
Yes. So Arjuna put forward that argument. Why?
Because they didn't want to go for the fight.
Yeah, he said, if I fight, right? If I fight, then I'll be the cause of Varna Shankara. And here Krishna is saying, if you don't fight, then there will be Varna Shankara.
Yes.
You understand how difficult it is to know what is duty, what is not duty, right? So he's thinking, so that therefore, we have to be very careful that I may not always know what is my duty. Therefore, we must inquire. And we must inquire from the right person, not just anybody. It has to be from the right person. So here, Krishna, so therefore, this karma yoga is an art. It's a science, it's also an art. So if I didn't perform prescribed duties, all these words would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population. And I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings, meaning that if the children don't know how to behave, right?
Yes.
They don't know how to behave. If they are not peaceful, then they will create havoc the entire world. And the way it is now, just hearing this lady, she was speaking about, well, you know how they do all types of readings, you know. So she was saying that those who were born before the year 2000, all these people, they had strong willpower. They have strong willpower. And those who are born after 2000, they are like spineless, very fluctuating, and they can't carry on. They're really like, they just give in. The slightest problem, they just give in. So she was speaking about depression, stress. This is the Varna Sankara, not the proper population people. So Varna Sankara is unwanted population which disturbs the peace of the general society. In order to check this social disturbance, there are prescribed duties and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful and organized for spiritual progress in life. So here, so Prabhupada is saying there are prescribed rules and regulations, meaning that everybody needs to know what are the rules and regulations, right? So these rules and regulations, they were coming down automatically. It was just like the social norms, or even the ethical norms, or your work ethics, right? But when there is Varna Sankara, they become disobedient because they're born out of organizations. Just like now, like let's say marriage, we see that actually population starts with Viva Samskar. If there is no Viva Samskar, automatically there is no Samskar at all. Right?
Yeah.
Automatically. So meaning that now again I'm speaking this, that if we say Viva marriage is just man-made, it's not true. It's not man-made, it is a rule and regulation of an organized society. And this unnecessary disturbance that's happening in household life between what we call in-laws, right? I spoke about this before. That in-law is actually something new, right? By law, it's not like this. Dharma, patni, right? This is what we are, dharma, patni, right? I don't know who it became in-law. So therefore we destroy it. So there are prescribed rules and regulations, is what we call dharma, by which the population automatically, alright, Here, Prabhupada is using a word automatically, meaning you don't have to go to so much endeavor. You fight in your household, then you go to a counselor, and this counselor may be just a girl who has graduated, who's 20, 25 years old, right, and you're an old woman, and you go and pour out your household problem and you have to pay a fee. And this poor girl herself, she will collapse, right? So because simple rules and regulations. So in order to check this social disturbance, there are prescribed rules and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful and organized for spiritual progress in life. Meaning that the rules and regulations are not in themselves the end. Alright? It's not that you are going to be happily married forever. No, everybody knows it's not true. I always speak of this word in India and say adjust. Right? In India they use this word adjust. Now they don't adjust, right? Now it's going out of the window. Oh, it's such a mysterious word. Adjust. Now I'm also using the word. Because I don't speak what they mean. Huh? Here, Prabhupada is speaking that this following rules and regulations in our regular life, routine life, meaning discipline, right? Discipline, routine life, it's not an end in itself. Being in good health is not the goal of life, because you have to die. You cannot avoid old age. However much you may pour in being, in good health, at the end of the day, everybody knows that you fall sick, you become old. It's very interesting to watch this phenomenon called old age, right? When those who you knew were young and become old, it's a phenomenon. It's a natural phenomenon that's happening in front of our eyes. What is it? And it is inevitable. Alright? Just inevitable. So, meaning that all these organization, rules and regulation is not the end in itself. What is it meant for? Spiritual progress. Right? Spiritual progress. So when we send this child to school, I don't know how it was popping up on my phone, this 64 color. And then when I said, oh, it just popped up. So I looked at it because we are interested in Krishna, right, study the 64 color. Then more and more people are posting about this 64 color. So this 64 color, they balance a person. So there is the Vedas, the 4 Vedas, which is all about the 4 Vedas. They are mostly how to live happy in this material world. Alright? Mostly. Then one section is about the Upanishads, the Jnana Kanda. Upanishad, meaning knowledge of the soul. And then a small section is about bhakti. Alright? And then supporting angas of this Veda, all like recitation, grammar, etc., etc. And Jyotish is also one part of it. Then learning meanings of words. All this is in your Vedic philosophy for students, okay? First chapter of this Vedic philosophy for students. Then come those Upavedas, alright? So the Upavedas are like Dhanurved, this Artha Shastra, Gandharva Ved, right? Yajurved, Ayurved, alright? So all this. But then come this 64 color. Today they speak about art and craft and soft skills. the modern language is soft skills, right? Now, everybody knows this. In your own household, if you do not have soft skills, can you survive? Alright? So today we have to go and learn soft skills. Right? Meaning that it was completely part of the culture. Right? You don't have to go to college to learn cooking. Right? You get a degree and they drag it on for 3 years. Right? We saw Prabhupada cooking. We saw the picture of Prabhupada cooking. Right? How did he learn? How did he learn?
By observing, by doing,
By watching his mother.
helping mother.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prabhupada learned cooking and what he could. He spread a whole movement to cooking. Right? So, yeah, so all this, so I'm speaking about these rules and regulations, and also this now, this organization for spiritual progress in life, meaning that spiritual life is not dull, not at all dull. When you have those 64 color, there is no dullness in your life, right?
Yeah.
And this is what India is all about. It's color. Like even this one person who's sitting in the road, he has a flower, he has a leaf. He has a leaf. And he will just write on that leaf and he make a nice, like a birthday card for you. Right? Isn't it? Or they sing, they paint, they do so many things. There are 64 colors. This is civilization. Right? So this is what we are talking about here. And the whole thing is like, just see. Sangitaji just brought some color.
Oh, that's so nice.
She just brought it. All right.
Wow.
You just put them together and you pick up. All right, this is what we call color. All right, life becomes interesting.
And you don't know how your time goes because when you go into it, it's a different world. Anything, any art which you have.
And see, I'm just showing this. See color, right? So we could say that it is like my occupation. But here Krishna is saying, page 10. For spiritual progress. So immediately you remember Krishna. Alright? We saw this peacock. Immediately we remember Krishna. And this also, we say, put on the altar for Krishna. Do you understand how? So proper explaining here. There are prescribed rules and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful. So if somebody is good in manufacturing this, are they not happy to just be doing this?
Yeah.
Right? Instead of grabbing them and making them do something different, put them in a factory because you need them. Right? But this is simple craft where he is happy. You know, just like I went to one area, I had to get a few things, right? So I went with somebody. So she just said, "Oh yes, we want like earrings for," I said, Jagannath. I was actually looking for earrings for Jagannath. This man opened everything, then showed me the label of what is the price, and he gave me for nothing.
Wow.
He just gave it to me from nothing. Alright? So, this is how he's making spiritual progress. Right? By doing his own work. So somebody is creating, somebody is selling, right? They're doing their work. But as soon as I took Jagannath's name, the name of Lord Jagannath, he immediately gave it to me for almost nothing. Right? So this is spiritual progress.
Yes.
Right? And he saw Tilak, right? Saw Tilak, bead bag, right? They thought of Krishna. Not everybody do it in that area. They were sufficiently pious and simple people. When Lord Krishna descends, naturally he deals with such rules and regulations in order to maintain the prestige and necessity of such important performances. Right? So when the child is born, there are samskar. Right? There are 16 samskar. And we already said the most important one of them all is this Vibha samskar. If there is no Vibha samskar, the other samskara will not come. The next most important will be the Garbhadhan samskar. Because this is when the proper population will come. Right? Then so many others. So here Prabhupada is speaking. So these rules and regulations are referring to the samskar. Right? And of course, everybody doing their own work and not do somebody else's work. So the Lord is the Father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. Alright? So like sometimes, so we should understand one thing. There is a difference between re-establishing dharma, teaching about dharma, and just going about and converting somebody to, this religion or that religion. It's not conversion. You have to remember that in dharma, everybody is allowed to follow his own dharma according to his own level. Alright? Krishna is coming to propagate how you should follow your own dharma. Right. So maybe you remember in Vedic philosophy, all of you have learned the book now, Vedic philosophy. In chapter 7, there is Sanatan Dharma, one page of this. So in that section, explain that the Vedas allow certain yajna, like where the person can take meat, can take some type of beverage. Alright? So dharma for one level of person is not the same for another level of person. Alright? So, for example, I just spoke about Viva. So Viva Samskar is dharma for somebody who is in household life. It is not for brahmacharis, it is not for sannyasis. Alright? Clear? So the Lord is the Father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. Therefore, whenever there is a general disregard of regulative principles, the Lord himself descends and corrects the society. So Krishna has come. So here Krishna is saying, if I didn't perform prescribed duties, and why is he gathering all these kings, right? And say, all you people, you're unfit. to follow the laws of dharma. You are not following and studying the Mahabharata. Each and every personality who stood against Krishna was failing in a particular type of dharma. It is a very, very intricate study, this Mahabharata. Actually, I saw one poster from this Eco Village. They have that Vidyapit, right? And they were offering some course on studying the personalities of Mahabharata. Can you find that? Oh, your course, yes. And I think their video recorded. So you can just take this. Learn. Because we can't learn everything in my small class. Not possible. Right? So each and everyone, like I'm thinking of such a, like, see, Duryodhana was outright against Krishna. Right? You take a personality like Shalya. Shalya who is?
Mama of the Pandava.
Yeah, and he fought against them.
Yeah.
Right? So, what is it that went wrong in his performance of dharma?
No, but he also had like bad, like drinking and all that habit. So this is why he like
He gave it to the Duryodhana.
yeah.
When Duryodhana
Welcome,
carried
grand,
him in
welcome. He was like
wow, he was very pleased.
Yes, he got won over on social etiquette.
Duryodhana got him distracted.
Got won him over through social etiquette. You have hosted me, right? You welcomed me, you were so hospitable, and that's what Duryodhana was doing. Right?
yes.
He was on his way to meet the Pandavas
Yes.
and he got intercepted by
Duryodhana.
Duryodhana. And he didn't see Duryodhana, he only saw his arrangement.
And he
Right?
assumed that he did it for him.
Yeah, he assumed that the Pandavas, I have accepted your, your hospitality, everything, so I have to side with you.
Yeah.
Is this dharma?
No.
Is this sahay pumsam paro dharma?
No.
You understand?
Yeah.
After using all the hospitality, he should have not helped her. He should have gone back to the Pandavas.
Yeah.
We should, yeah, like even Bhishma and Drona.
Yeah.
What is the problem?
They gave Krishna gave his vachan and he was not ready to अपना वचन तोड़ने के लिए. Like Krishna तो said I will not do any vachan, but he still ran with that being. So your vachan is not more important than Krishna.
Yes, so that's why knowing and understanding, like here we are studying, knowing and understanding what is real dharma is very important. Right?
Yes.
The example is given. If the house is on fire and the child is inside the house, and my duty is to be truthful. All right. If a father sees fires catching, and the child is very aram se, playing inside the house, the father may have to speak a lie to get the child out, right? Because there is danger. So the father cannot say, I have to be truthful.
Yeah.
I have to be truthful. So that example is given about what is truthfulness. Truthfulness is what is favorable for Krishna. Right? So that's why this Mahabharata is teaching us what is like straightforward dharma, what is a dharma, and then what are the nuances. Right? What are the nuances in what is dharma and what is adharma. This is how also Who got caught? Who got caught?
What?
Karna.
Yeah.
Right? He also got caught. Even when Krishna told him, you give up. Right? You give up.
So it was the same thing, like the Mama. He became, because he was treated so well. Same was the Karan, because he was always treated so well with by Duryodhana, so he favored the other.
Yes, and he also became spoiled by association. Right? He also became spoiled. So again, just hearing this lecture by His Holiness Bhakti Vidyan Maharaj, he's speaking about how a devotee, by association, develops the samskara of a demon and become born next life as a demon.
It completely matters a lot.
Yes.
You have to be very careful in our lives also.
Yes.
It's,
Yes. Yes. So, when Lord Krishna descends naturally, he deals with such rules and regulations in order to maintain the prestige and necessity of such important performances. The Lord is the father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. Therefore, whenever there is a general disregard of regulatory principles, the Lord Himself descends and corrects the society. So this is how Srila Prabhupada, he traveled the world and he gave Diksha and he made the disciple promise no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. Alright? These are the rules, these are the pillars of dharma. When people are breaking these pillars of dharma, then the Supreme Lord of his representative is going and re-establishing it. Right? And here in India, everybody say, yes, we should break all these religious principles, right? You think we are high class if we break these regular principles? We should, however, note carefully that although we have to follow in the footsteps of the Lord, we still have to remember that we cannot imitate. So now, Krishna has two facets. So one is like he's coming to establish dharma, but then there is his personal being. Alright? So we are not Krishna. So we accept what the instruction that he's giving us. But Krishna is also showing that he's not a human being, even though he looks human. Right? He looks human, but he's not human. And he lifted Govardhan Hill. Right?
on the
Left. Alright, he lifted Govardhan Hill on the left hand, pinky or right, like this. And then he performed Rasa Leela. So Prabhupada is saying, if you want to do Rasa Leela, you should be able to lift Govardhan. Yes, just like one should not imitate the activities of who? Lord Shiva, right? We should not imitate the activities of great personalities. So we say, Lord Shiva, he smoked ganja, right? Yes, I don't know. Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison. So yes, it's in our line. It's in our line. Lord Shiva, he drinks, he smokes ganja, so we will smoke ganja. Right? So Prabhupada is saying that these are pseudo devotees. It is best, therefore, that one should not try to imitate the powerful, but simply follow the instructions. Nor should one try to occupy their posts without qualification, meaning some people say, I am avatar, right? Kalki avatar are already born, right? So many places everybody is claiming I'm Kalki avatar. So here Prabhupada said, don't try to occupy that post without qualification. There are so many incarnations of God without the power of the Supreme Lord. Text 25. Satta karmanya vidvamsho yatha kurvanti bharata Uriyad vidvams tatha shaktas Chikirshu loka sangraham Neha?
Structure being attached, Karmani is prescribed duties, Avidvamsa the ignorant, Yatha as much as, Kurvanti they do, Bharata O descendant of Bharata,
Bharat.
Bharat, uh, Kuryat must do, Vidwan the learned, Tatha thus, Asakta without attachment, Chikitsu desiring to lead, Loka Sangraham the people in general. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to the result, the learned may similarly act but without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path. A person in Krishna consciousness and a person not in Krishna consciousness are differentiated by different desires. A Krishna conscious person does not do anything with anything which is not conducive to development of Krishna consciousness. He may even act exactly like the ignorant person who is too much attached to material activities, but one is engaged in Krishna in such activities for the satisfaction of his sense gratification, whereas the other is engaged for the satisfaction of Krishna. Therefore, the Krishna conscious person is required to show the people how to act and how to engage the result of action for the purpose of Krishna consciousness.
Yes. So this is a very important verse. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results. So this is everybody in this world, right?
Yes.
We are working and we want the result of our work. So the learner may similarly act. So Srila Prabhupada, he was working very hard, isn't it? Right? The big businessman is working and multiplying his business everywhere, right? Chain of companies, factories, etc. And Srila Prabhupada, in 10 years, he traveled 14 times across the globe. At the age of 70, until he was 81 years old. Is it same? Right? So the ignorant, they perform their duty with attachment to results. And Srila Prabhupada, the learned, may similarly act but without attachment. Why? Why do you think? This is a very crucial question. A very crucial question. Why is it that Srila Prabhupada set up a movement where he made the devotees, his disciples, work so hard? Why? Yes.
Because he's training them. Because like आने वाली पीढ़ियों को he is wanting to give
Because he is old already. Because he was already old, like 71, 80 or something. So he wanted to train his disciples fast so that they could read.
like he wants to give Krishna to everybody. So they are making everybody also. Do. So they are like mostly they are trying to hold all that people related to Krishna.
that he's leaving an inheritance. Alright? It's not that he was leaving an inheritance so that you work hard to make it happen. Here it's given. As the ignorant perform their duty with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path. So, why? Let's read the purport again.
He wanted to show the directions to the people,
Yes,
showing them the right path.
yes, yes.
Right.
This chapter, what's the title of this chapter?
It's not very
Karma Yoga. Right? He didn't intend that everybody should come and sit in an ashram and japamala. They couldn't do it. My Guru Maharaj wrote a book, The Jews Story. I'll give you a title, The Jews Story. So, in there are descriptions of how right here Prabhupada brought disciples from everywhere, made them sit, do kirtan, whole day do kirtan. They couldn't do. They were just so restless. They couldn't do. Can you do? At every chant 64 rounds. Right? You cannot do. Right? So the mind is monkey, right? The body is restless. Right? So they in Krishna's service, a person in Krishna consciousness and a person not in Krishna consciousness are differentiated by different desires. Alright? Why we are not able to sit and chant, or whether in kirtan or in japa? Because we have so many desires, we are restless. Right? A Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not conducive to development of Krishna consciousness. So if Prabhupada is making us work hard, it is for Krishna's sake. So he may even act exactly like the ignorant person who is too much attached to material activities. But one is engaged in such activities for the satisfaction of his sense gratification, whereas the other is engaged for the satisfaction of Krishna. Therefore, the Krishna conscious person is required to show the people how to act. Alright? Srila Prabhupada? He's required to show the people how to act and how to engage the results of action for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. So, if we are ambitious, alright, even when we are trying to serve Krishna, if while I'm doing all this work, I become ambitious and I forget Krishna, alright? I forget Krishna, then what will happen? I will fall in sense gratification. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada gave us a program, what they used to call the transcendental sandwich. What is this? Early morning, you have your morning sadhana. You get up early in the morning, you do all your sadhana in the morning, and then during the day, you work, and in the evening again, sadhana. That was the method. Alright, so just try this. If you get up early in the morning, you have Mangalarti, whatever you're doing at home, and you chant, then you do all your housework, your whatever work you have to do, right? And then in the evening again, sit, you read or you chant. You will not forget Krishna during the day. This is how scientifically Prabhupada gave us. If we just go on working, right? Very easily, this anartha of competition, of sense gratification, ambition of showing off is going to overpower us. Alright? This is the science of devotional service and the art of work. You remember this?
Yes.
Science of devotional service. This is science because you want to awaken your love for Krishna. Alright? Art of work. The science is how to develop your love for Krishna. It's not just the rules and regulations. We already said, if you are Grihastha, you have these rules and regulations. When you are no more in Grihastha ashram, these are not your rules and regulations. Right? So there is an aim in all this work that we are doing. And now, if as devotees, we are also doing seva, right? Working for Krishna. But there is a method. Sandwich. Transcendental sandwich. Okay? Then you won't deviate.
Transcendental sandwich.
Transcendental sandwich. Yes.
The sadhana in the morning and sadhana in the night.
Yes. Sadhana morning, sadhana in the night, and
Material acquisition.
in between. Well, it looks like material, but it is for Krishna. Alright? Therefore, the Krishna conscious person is required to show the people how to act and how to engage the results of action for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Because as we are going to see in that war, Mahabharata, right? So many bad things happen, right? Even when the battle was being fought for Krishna's sake, but even then, so many things went wrong, right? And how Yudhishthira was criticized. When after he won the war, he went into the palace of Hastinapur and he had to sit on the throne where Dhritarashtra was sitting. Alright? Yudhishthira already has his own kingdom. Which one? Indraprastha. Alright? That was given to him. But because the Kauravas cheated them of their kingdom, not only in the trust, because Yudhishthira became emperor. Right? He became emperor. He performed a Rajasuya sacrifice and he became emperor. Isn't it? And he won the entire world. The Pandavas, they are actually Kauravas. So who won the entire world? It is the Kuru dynasty. Who was ruling the whole world? It is Kuru dynasty. But Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana became envious of their own cousin brother. They're one family, alright? It's Kuru dynasty who was ruling the entire world. So what did they do? They pushed them out by cheating, and then they took over the entire world that the Pandavas had won over. You understand what has happened? Then they used that army to fight against the Pandavas. So when the war was over, right? Everybody knows the great massacre that has happened, right? Yudhishthira, the Pandavas had to walk into Hastinapur, into the palace of the Kuru dynasty and sit on the throne. And as he was walking through, he was being criticized. Here he is. he has killed all his family members in order to sit on that throne. Right? So whatever you do, you are never right.
Wasn't it avoidable?
I'm just saying, the Pandavas, they obeyed Krishna's right? Word, right?
There was Krishna conscious.
Yes, they obeyed Krishna's word. And they fought everything.
Yeah,
Now
they
they are sitting on the throne.
Yeah, they won also everything.
Yeah. And crooked people, not everybody, okay? Not everybody. Crooked people were poking, right? Poking. Poking Yudhishthir, and see, specifically Yudhishthir, all the Pandavas were together, but specifically Yudhishthir, you happen to be the eldest, you're gone.
Yeah. I don't know that.
You're the eldest, right? Such
Right.
responsibility. Such responsibility. Right?
A good example. If you are Krishna conscious, you will suppress.
Yeah, but even then you are criticized.
Yes.
Like even
You're not.
even then you are looking
Yes.
The path is not easy. Because
Yeah.
there is a story of the whole Kedarnath.
Mm.
The whole story of Kedarnath is actually what happened after Mahabharata.
Oh.
That is the whole story of Kedarnath. Because after winning the wars,
Mm.
and indirectly or directly they उनसे तो मतलब पाप ही हुआ ना, like
Mm.
they ended up killing Brahman, they ended up killing the elder, the whatever. So they were having children who were not proper. That's all this all that kind of children, handicapped children and all that. So they had to do a lot of thousands of years of again prayers and please Lord Shiva.
Mm.
ऐसा भी मेरा story है. That is the whole story of Kedarnath.
Oh.
Because in Kedarnath there is the statue of Pandavas.
Oh. Yeah, because they left. They took Vanaprastha.
Yeah, from that point.
They left.
Yeah.
They left and they went through Kedarnath.
It's like you said, because the people were troubling them, criticizing them. So at one point they were fed up of that also.
Yes.
No sense. So then they went into exile and prayers and all that.
Yeah, actually Krishna left. This
Yeah.
month. Krishna left. And then the Pandavas, they left. But you get the point what I'm saying here?
Yes. Yes.
That it is so difficult.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct. To be
So
on the right path.
that's why we're going to read somewhere in the purport. Prabhupada is saying, best thing is get out from this world.
Yes.
Destiny.
Get out from this world.
Yes.
He said, just get out from this world. Whatever you do, damn if you do, damn if you don't do.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
So he advised. So here you see how the Pandavas, here Krishna's, forcing, preaching, right? Brainwashing him. do, right? Arjun said, no. Krishna said, you do. Why? Oh, big pravachan is going on, right? And after everything is done, but they will never blame Krishna.
Yeah. They have that
Right?
consciousness about yes.
They never, all the criticism that came upon them, all the shame that came upon them, they never at any point blamed Krishna. We did it for you and just see.
Never. Yeah.
So they were not connected.
They were Krishna conscious.
They were devotees.
Yes.
The devotees. Devotees, they are doing everything out of love for Krishna. This material world is such that this Ramayana is a classic example of we can never be happy in this material world. The Supreme Lord himself came to show us we can never be happy in this world, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you can never do it right. Alright? Okay, let's see. We can do one more. 26. न बुद्धिभेदं जनाय अज्ञानं कर्मसङ्गिनः जोषयत् सर्वकर्माणि विद्वान् युक्तः समाचरन्.
Now, not.
No, is no.
No. Buddhe Devam. Disruption of intelligence. Janayat.
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 Not no. Jano.
Janayat.
Janayat.
He should cause. Ajnaya. Ajnanam.
Ajnanam.
Jnanam. Of the foolish. Karma. Sandhinam. Who are attached to putative work. Joshe. He should go there. Sarva. All. Karmani. Work. Vidwan. A learned person. Yukta. Engaged. Samacharam. Practicing. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties. A learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. Okay. Vedas cha sarva
Vedescha sarver aham eva vedya.
That is the end of all Vedic rituals. All rituals, all performances, all sacrifices, and everything that is put into the Vedas, including all direction for material activities, are meant for understanding Krishna, who is the ultimate goal of life. But because the conditioned souls do not know anything beyond sense gratification, they study Vedas to the end.
To that end.
To that end. But through fruitive activities and sense gratification regulated by the Vedic rituals, one is gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a realized soul in Krishna consciousness should not disturb others in their activities or understanding, but he should act by showing how the results of all work can be dedicated to the service of Krishna. The learned Krishna conscious person may act in such a way that the ignorant person working for sense gratification may learn how to act and how to behave. Although the ignorant man is not to be disturbed in his activities, a slightly developed Krishna conscious person may directly be engaged in the service of the Lord without waiting for the Vedic formulas.
For other Vedic
For
formulas.
others Vedic formulas. For this fortunate man, there is no need to follow the Vedic rituals, because by direct Krishna conscious, one can have all the results one would otherwise derive from following one's prescribed duties.
See now, this is a very difficult section, right? This is an extremely difficult section, and because, like, see, this Krishna consciousness movement is something extremely special, right? Extremely, extremely special, because Srila Prabhupada, he came to give us Krishna prema, right? Same like Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the reason why he set up this movement to give Krishna prema. But people are not ready for Krishna prema. Alright? So this verse here, Krishna said, Na buddhi bhedam janaya ajnanam karma samgina joshayat sarva karmani vidvan yukta samhacharan. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties. Prescribed duties coming from where? Yeah, which is given from? Which is coming from?
From the Lord.
Yeah,
From the Vedas.
Vedas. Alright? The rules and regulations, your duty is given in the Vedas. So now, Vedescha sarvam aham eva vidya. Now, Krishna is saying that we should know the purpose of the Vedas. Like, people say, give me the Vedas, right? Buddha comes to the temple, I want the Vedas. And the truth is that there are no more Vedas. There are no more Vedas. Maybe in a museum somewhere. I don't know. But there are no Vedas. Right? It's all been burnt. It's gone. But the purpose of the Vedas are still there describing other scriptures. In Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So here Prabhupada is saying, Vedescha sarvam aham eva vedyaha. That is the end of all Vedic rituals. So the Vedas are giving us so many rituals, Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved. They are giving us so many rituals that we are supposed to do. And here Prabhupada is saying that the purpose of all these rituals is to know Krishna. All rituals, all performances of sacrifice and everything that is put into the Vedas, including all direction from material activities, are meant for understanding Krishna, who is the ultimate goal of life. So even, like we are speaking of the yagyas that we do, we want this yagya, that yagya, I want this material benefit, that material benefit. But finally, here Prabhupada is saying that all these are meant for understanding Krishna, who is the ultimate goal of life. But because the conditioned soul do not know anything beyond sense gratification, they study the Vedas to that end. So, because we are so used, now this is the general population, right? When they take the Shastra, even this Bhagavad Gita, if they will read Bhagavad Gita, what they are looking for. How can I be happy ever after? Right?
Yeah.
They are looking for sense gratification. Isn't it? So, they want to use any holy book to find sense gratification. But because the conditioned soul do not know anything beyond sense gratification, they study the Vedas to that end. But through fruitive activities and sense gratification regulated by the Vedic rituals, one is gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. Like I said before, how one level of dharma is that you can sacrifice an animal and you can have, wine or whatever, right? So I asked this question. The Vedic literature is also saying, okay, you can do a sacrifice of an animal, you can have wine. What about the other, faith? They do all these things. So what's all this? So then explain that in the Vedic system, when they do all this, inclusive in the Vedic system, gradually the person will realize that this is not proper.
Yeah.
And he will give up. Mass. Ma-amsha. Mass. This word mass. Meat. Now in India, very nicely the word meat is covered up by the word non-veg. You should say meat, right? So you don't say meat because it's so gross. No Indian will eat meat, right? So you say non-veg. They cover it up. Meaning your attention is focused on veg. And you didn't realize you're saying non-veg. And non-veg actually mean meat.